Within a matter of 10 years, I tripled my net worth. I didn't do it because of a lucky stock pick, real estate, drop shipping, or crypto. And no, it wasn't because I was making YouTube videos. Instead, I've been following a series of 5 key principles that I've taught to hundreds, if not thousands of people that will inevitably get you increase your net worth over time, no matter who you are. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process of how to go from a frontline worker to making $400,000 per year. Hey there, it's Jay Timms. I'm an organizational psychologist with Legendary Leaders. I've consulted Fortune 500 companies and I've built leaders whose teams literally quadrupled their company's profits. I went from literally being a dishwasher to earning $400,000 a year as a director in a company with these 5 strategies that I'm going to share with you in just a moment. If this is the type of content that you're looking for, make sure to comment below, yes, I'm in, or give me a thumbs up in the comments, and make sure to like this video so I know that this is content that's valuable to you. So let's get into the video. Years ago, I saw a skit on Saturday Night Live where they were making fun of people who were working as hourly employees in a fast food restaurant. Basically, what the skit was saying is that it was a dead end, no growth, success-sucking job, and only absolute losers stand at the counter and take orders. As I sat there late at night alone in my living room watching the skit, I glanced over at my uniform that I was going to be putting on in just a matter of hours as an employee of a fast food restaurant. It made me want to throw up. How was I going to look at my wife and kids the next morning wearing that ridiculous uniform, knowing what they were probably thinking of me? About that time, I was listening to one of my favorite thought leaders of the time, Zig Ziglar. He was an amazing guy, and he said something that stuck with me and created this absolute craving for advancement success professionally and financially for my entire life. He said that our goals in business and life need to be to move from survival to stability, from stability to success, and then from success to significance. I was not even surviving at that point. I remember vividly telling my young son that I couldn't buy him an ice cream cone because in my mind, I knew that my bank account was so overdrawn that I would be barely able to bring it above $0 with the next paycheck. So I devised a pattern of behavior that would take me from surviving to significance as quickly as I possibly could. And before I go into the principles, I want to teach you about what I call the law of success. Take out a pen and paper right now, and I want you to write this down, because this one law is the overarching law that has helped me, the hundreds of leaders that I've built, and literally every successful person that I have ever met on the planet achieve success and greatness. Write down the letter W. Next to it, I want you to write down the letter O. Next to that, write the letter R, and finally write the letter K. If you are not willing to work, to sweat, to bleed, to be exhausted, to be stretched, and to push yourself beyond what you think is possible, you will never ever become successful and make the kind of money that you want to make. Nobody is going to give this to you. You have to put in the effort. Now listen, if you aren't willing to work, turn off the video right now. Unsubscribe from YouTube channel and stop following me on all of my social media because nothing I have will help you. You didn't turn off the video, did you? So let's do this. Let's start with what it takes to go from survival to stability. So principle number 1 is the manager mindset versus the executive mindset. Now listen, I am not a big fan of the word mindset. I think that it's been overused, it's been over diluted, and it's just this generic marketing buzzword, and that kind of stuff just irritates me. The reason it irritates me is because often people who use the word mindset use it and don't truly understand what goes on in the brain to create a mindset. I realize that sounded a little bit preachy, but that being said, you are never going to move into a position where you can be considered for a promotion if you continually think like an employee. So what I want to do is I want to draw a grid here so that I can show you exactly what I mean. So again, on your piece of paper that you pulled out, I want you to just draw this grid. Just really simple. And what the grid is going to do is I want you on this side, I want you to write the words do, I want you to write think, act, and react. When you're an employee, most often what you're doing is you are doing and you are reacting to what somebody has told you to do. So employees in general work in this area down here. Wherever the employee is, whether it's here or here or here, anywhere along the spectrum, they are usually doing and reacting to what they're being told. Leaders do things differently. What they do is they respond in completely different way. The way that they respond is they act up here. They are in the act and thinking phase. A leader acts, they do things, they engage with things, they plan ahead, and they think. And so you have to shift from going from this area to this area here. If you want to become successful, the thing that I always used to do is I used to say, okay, if I'm an hourly employee and I want to move to an hourly manager, I have to think and act like an hourly manager. If I'm an hourly manager and I want to become something more, I have to think like that person. Because when the opportunity comes, if I'm not already thinking and acting like that, then I will not accomplish what I want to do. So your mindset has to be, you have to shift from doing and reacting to thinking and acting like that role above you. Principle number 2 is that you have to build strong relationships. So there's a saying that says it's not what you know, but who you know that determines success. I completely agree with who you know has a massive impact on where you're going to go in your life. I mean, I do also believe that it's what you know as well, but I'll leave that to a different video. So one of the things that I intentionally did was that I learned everybody's name in my company. That were above me, and I wanted to know a little bit about them. So for instance, I knew that the COO had recently had a brand new baby boy, and that he and his girlfriend were planning on getting married in the fall. Or I also knew that the chief development officer was this wine connoisseur. I mean, this woman knew her wine inside and out. And anytime we went out for dinner, the wine list, she could read it like a map. Now, I use this to my advantage. Every time that I saw these people, I'd start by asking them about what was important to them and showed them that I really cared about them as an individual. And you cannot fake this. They will see through it. I genuinely cared about these people and knew that by interacting with them, I was going to learn and grow, but I also knew it would make it easier for them to think about me the next time a possible promotion came up. So every time that there's an opportunity to go to a meeting with people who were higher up on the food chain than I was, I jumped at that opportunity. Nobody else wanted to go, I'd put my hand up. Not to show them how smart I was, but just to sit in the room and have them see my face. Everything that I did, I made sure that I did it to build the relationships of the people above me, beside me, and below me, because relationships are what drive success for the people in the room. I knew that Jim Rohn, the author and the motivational speaker, what he said about people, he said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I knew that for me to become great, I had to surround myself with people in the company who were already great. But like I just said, you have to do it because you actually care about the people. If you're faking it in any way, it will completely backfire on you. So you've got to build relationships with everyone around you, because you never know what you're going to pick up and what others are going to help you achieve if you don't. That is surviving from sustaining. That got me to my first real promotion and to the place where I was moving out of that hourly position and into a salaried position in the company. Let's talk about going from sustaining to succeeding. So step number 3 is demonstrate business acumen. You know, when I first started pushing for a promotion, I couldn't tell you the difference between a profit and a revenue, how to read and interpret a P&L for growth, or how to analyze a sales spreadsheet to predict future sales. Someone above me would sit there and use these acronyms, and everyone around me would nod in understanding and agreement, and so I did the same. I was terrified that someone would say, hey Jay, what do you think? Luckily, that only happened once, and I just rephrased something that I had heard someone say previously and seemed to do the trick. So as I said before, if you want to be a leader, you have to think like a leader. You have to know what they're talking about and what everything means. So sign up for business newsletters. Use AI to figure out what something means. Talk to someone who you know that knows these things. Learn all the time. You have to keep feeding yourself knowledge every single day from here on out. Even after you get that promotion or the next set of promotions, you have to keep learning. Principle number 4 is enhancing your leadership and communication skills. You know, the way that you say things and the way that people receive and interpret the things that you have said are 2 very different things. I often assume that people misinterpret about 50% of what I'm saying. I'm not sure if there's any statistical evidence to support that, but it's just been my standard for a long time. If you knew that people misinterpreted what you said 50% of the time, what would you do? Well, I can tell you what I did. I always ask the question, and you'll hear me say this a lot, does that make sense to you? Or Now, what did you hear me say there? It gives the other person an opportunity to give their interpretation, so you can either move on, phase, or start it all over again. The thing I do is I constantly practice. I use my wife and my kids and other people who I know that I'm safe with to have conversations and allow them to give me feedback on what I'm saying so that I can improve my communication skills. Finally, I learn all the time. Go to my website, jtims.com, and look at all of the resources there. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and watch the videos. I'm literally updating and adding new ones every single week. Read books. Some of my favorite are Crucial Conversations, Leaders Eat Last, and The Art of Happiness. Learn from others who are really good as to what they do to communicate effectively, then put some into practice in your life and adapt it to your personality. Powerful leaders always look for people who can communicate when they're looking to promote. People who know not just what to say, but how exactly to say it. This is what finally got me to the place where I was making over $100,000 a year. I'd gotten to the place where I didn't have to worry about buying an ice cream cone for my son, and I actually began hunting for my first $1 million home. But everything changed for me when I figured out how to go from succeeding to significance. The executives in your company do one thing that sets them apart from anyone else in the company. And if you want to sit at those tables and make those kind of paychecks, you have to do the same thing. So let's go back to the grid that I was showing you before. Leaders think differently. You have to look at things differently as well. You have to understand your business, recognize patterns, predict events, and plan for eventualities before they happen. I realize that this takes time and experience, but this one skill helped me to hit financial goals I never even dreamed possible when I first saw that skit on Saturday Night Live years ago. I want you to remember something. You do not have to wait to become a leader to start doing this. I mean, any of these. You can start right now to adjust your mindset, to build relationships, to begin to really understand the business and increase your business acumen, to get better at your communication, and then start to drive innovation and change. Start right now. Achieving your first promotion and getting to $100,000 per year is a significant milestone, but it's not an overnight process. It requires time and effort. Balancing hard work with well-being is crucial, as burnout can subconsciously pull you back even when you're not aware of it. To help you avoid burnout and maintain peak performance, I'm hosting a free masterclass this August designed for working professionals, leaders, and anyone really aiming to reach that top 1%. In this live masterclass, I'm going to share with you 4 things that have helped hundreds of professionals, including me, to manage burnout for long-term success. And you're going to learn the psychology behind burnout, and you'll be able to devise ways in your daily routines to reduce the burnout and get rid of unnecessary stress. Invest in yourself and enhance your internal value. Register using the link in the description of this video below. Hope this video was worth it. Please share this video with anyone needing a nudge in the right direction. From self-improvement to improving your skills in the corporate world, or even just leadership in life. Subscribe to my channel for weekly content. Follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn, linked in the description below. Love you all, and we'll see you in the next video. Talk soon.